Wednesday show, halfway through the week, which means if you're going to have a midweek crisis, this is a great day to do it.
Nah, it's a great day to have a great day.
Oh, it's always a great day to have a great day when you have a 0-0 mentality.
No crisis.
Going to talk some draft. Going to get to the Booster Club, playoff updates, some great games last night in both the NHL and NBA. We have Get Off My Lawn today, one of the fans' favorite segments. We're interested to see who's G'ing off your L today, David. And live call-ins. 1-855-236-3228.
Very well done.
Get them hot. Oh, dude, it's in there now. It's totally in there now. But before we get started, guys, we always talk about, trust in the signs, right? Not going out of your way to find the signs, but trusting them and being able to interpret them when it comes down to predicting sporting events and outcomes. So yesterday, I'm in my car, in my driveway, in America, and I'm doing the radio hits. And so right before I go on, there's rabbits all over our neighborhood, rabbits and turkeys. It's like a Disney movie out there, all right? So I'm sitting in the driver's seat, and this rabbit just comes bouncing out of like the side of my house. I'm like looking down at it from the car window. It's looking at me, and it just stops, and it just looks at me. And it's at that moment that I realize it's a sign. But that's not the hardest part. The hardest part is not seeing the sign. It is interpreting the sign. And I'm not talking Joaquin Phoenix from some M. Night Shyamalan movie. This is way harder than that. So I got to thinking, rabbits, jackrabbits. Is this a sign for South Dakota State in something? Because I don't know another school that is a rabbit. Any
Blaine,
thoughts?
What do you
Any
say,
interpretations here?
Yeah, I think just a rabbit came up to your car.
Now you're just.
I think that's just what happened.
Now you're just being
I don't think
disingenuous.
so. I
I'm
think
not trusting the signs right now. I told you when I took Kansas in the
You misinterpreted
NCAA
the sign. You need to get over that.
Not my fault.
You need to build a bridge and get over that.
No, I'm not over it. I'm upset about
they
it.
throw false signs at you. So.
No, they don't.
day-
they don't.
You
throw
have to
false
know when the
signs.
false signs are getting
The
thrown at you.
hour
So
that
the
I'm
real
trying to
ones feel.
decide who's going to win the NCAA March Madness tournament, that bird's nest appears.
Yep.
I had to take Kansas. Had to take them.
Again, I don't think it was bad, but I feel like it was telling you Creighton. That's what I feel like it was telling you.
Well, that's a long way from a husky.
Well, again, if I'm a bird, you're a bird.
Should have just trusted the pup.
Odds for Will Levis to go number 1 in the NFL draft rise after somebody posted on Reddit. The Hawks pull off a road upset over the Celtics, and the Nuggets advance to the next round, beating the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm Jake Crain, and it's Wednesday. Everybody get emotional. It's Crain and Company. I need all 13 Houston Texans fans to listen and listen good, because I think I have found the way for the Texans to Kevin Costner the draft tomorrow. All right? I need everybody locked in because this one's a doozy. You need to follow the bouncing balls here. It's a Dr. Seuss situation. All right? First, you use the threat of Will Levis going number 2, which we know the Texans have the number 2 pick, to trade with the Indianapolis Colts to just swap picks from 2 to 4 and add a 3rd round pick. And the Colts, like I said, moved to number 2. We all know they want to take Will Levis. It's the Colts. They're definitely going to take him. And then you have the Arizona Cardinals sitting at 3, who, in my opinion, will either take a defensive player or trade back. But in reality, it doesn't matter if they trade with somebody who wants to move up to take a quarterback, because the Texans' new quarterback is not in the draft. So when it gets to your pick at number 4, you then call up the Baltimore Ravens to trade for Lamar Jackson. That's right, Lamar Jackson to the Texans. And since he's tagged as a non-exclusive, and I don't think the Ravens would match the offer the Texans would give, the rules say that the Texans must give the Ravens at least 2 first-round picks. So they get your 4th overall pick in the first round this year and your first-round pick in 2024. There it is. Wash our hands with it. Give them some guaranteed money. You have a quarterback. Now, the Texans also have the 12th overall pick in the first round in the draft to take a dynamite wide receiver like, I don't know, Jackson Smith and Jigba to pair with Lamar Jackson. That's a good start. Now, the Texans also have the 33rd overall pick, which you would then hit up the Arizona Cardinals one more time and trade straight up with them, this time for DeAndre Hopkins. Now, I know there are whispers that Arizona might cut him, but we don't have time for what-ifs and hypotheticals. We live in the real world on the NFL draft day. They will take an early second-round pick for him. They've already said they'd take a second-rounder. So now you have Lamar Jackson, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and DeAndre Hopkins. A lot of problems solved because DeMeco Ryans will have legitimate weapons on offense early in his career with a proven quarterback, and we all know the defense will be fine eventually. But having said all that, this is my way for the Houston Texans to Kevin Costner this draft. David and Blaine. And I believe
Blaine.
David Blaine.
David Blaine.
Now you see me, now you
don't. Yeah. Now I'm in your house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me your money.
Yeah.
What house? It just disappeared.
Yeah, exactly right.
Gone.
3 of clubs. But David, I picked the Texans. I feel like there's a way. You can tinker with some things there and make a few adjustments. But imagine if the Texans, and I'm not even talking about past the second round, and you pick up a third-round pick from the Colts, who you know just want to move up to take Will Levis. I mean, I could just see Jim Irsay just
They would have to know that.
And how do we know the Texans
would have to know that.
Didn't get some rando to post on Reddit, hey, man, hearing Will Levis is going 2, possibly 1. Indy, if you want him, you better move up and get him.
That's what's going on. I think it's just for your scenario to happen, you'd have to know the Colts want to take Will Levis, and you'd have to know that they wouldn't take Anthony Richardson, or you'd have to know the Ravens for sure want to take Anthony Richardson, right? If you trade for Lamar Jackson.
I mean, you'd have to have an idea. That's what. But how do you know? What if the Ravens?
Because you could just trade.
Well, what if the Ravens want C.J. Stroud or somebody like that? There's a way where you could finagle that, where C.J. Stroud goes to the 4th pick.
Well, that gets into my scenario then. Let me just break it down, because I'm not buying this hype of C.J. Stroud falling outside the top 7. I think a lot of people are trying to play 3D chess here, but I don't see any Bobby Fishers, if you know what I'm saying. They're not really pulling it off. So here's what I think should happen. Let's say your scenario comes to fruition and C.J. Stroud does not get taken at 2 for whatever reason, because the Texans don't want to take him or because the Texans trade with a team who don't want to take him. I'm not buying him falling to 7 or beyond 7, but who's at 7? The Las Vegas Raiders. And who did they just get at quarterback? Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, they're in the AFC West, boys. You're not winning any Super Bowls these days without an elite top 5, top 10 quarterback in the league. You got Russell Wilson, who's a Super Bowl champ in that division. You got Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl champ. Justin Herbert is in that division. Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to be the guy for the Las Vegas Raiders for a long time. If I'm the Raiders, what do you have in abundance this season? Picks. You have 12 picks, the second most in this year's draft. So let me look. Tied for first most with the Texans, actually, most picks. You go up to 3. You trade with the Cardinals, who are not going to take a quarterback. Like you said, they're going to go defense, or maybe they're going to go tackle. Well, if the Cardinals move back to 7, they would still get their pick of the litter, really. I mean, you have to assume the Seahawks and the Lions may go defense or tackle. So you're still going to get one of the top 2 or 3 players at the positions you want if you're the Cardinals. And if you're Vegas, you got the Atlanta Falcons right behind you at 8, who really, they need a franchise quarterback as well. You got the Tennessee Titans. I know Blaine's going to get the Titans right there at 11. He's going to break down for us why they should move. So if you're the Raiders, I would move up, go ahead and get to number 3 and get C.J. Stroud, who was the odds-on favorite to go number 1 just a couple weeks ago. So that way you would have your guy. You'd be able to pair him with Devontae Adams. You still have Josh Jacobs in the backfield. The Las Vegas Raiders would get a generational quarterback there at 3, and they'd be giving up picks, which they have in abundance.
What do you think they should, like, what picks?
That's where the negotiation would come in. I don't want to see any of these. I'll give you a 5th and you give me a 6th.
That's how it works.
They have a bunch of picks. They have a bunch of picks. So that's where you'd have to figure out exactly what they want. But 3 to 7, I mean, I can't imagine
probably
the Cardinals.
Probably it's just that, and I'd take a 3rd.
Maybe
3rd or 4th.
Maybe 4th,
right?
Too.
I would think so. That, and onto yours, if I like it. I like it a lot. The only thing, if I'm the Ravens, I'm getting more into just first rounds for Lamar. I mean, I got to get at least 4 picks out of that. So give me 2 first-rounders. I'd take probably a 2nd or a 3rd or 2 thirds after that. Because the last time we saw something like that was Jared Goff coming out of the draft, and they got 5 picks. I believe the Titans got 5 picks out of that.
Yeah, and again, I think every situation and circumstance is obviously different. But when you look at the situation for Baltimore, I think if Baltimore, and again, throw a 4th, throw a 6th, maybe throw a 3rd in 2024. Maybe you get a top 3 round pick in the next year's draft. But when you look at what, and I know Lamar and Aaron are in different spots in their careers, but if you look really at what the Jets gave up to the Packers to get Aaron, it wasn't like a king ransom of first round or second round picks. It was compensatory stuff. One of the biggest things is I think they're going to eat that $58 million, which helps out the Packers.
Yeah,
that's
Packers gonna be
one of the biggest things. But I think, is it worth it for the Ravens to move up and go get their guy, to get those 2 first-rounders, including the 4th overall pick in this year's draft, an early one possibly? If you look at the Texans, even with Lamar Jackson, how good are those guys going to be next year? You may have another early-round pick there in 2024. But I think you could get away with maybe adding a 4th on there. Or do you trade that 3rd-round pick that you acquired from the Colts after you moved at number 2 and give that one to the Ravens in this year's draft to go ahead and knock it out? I don't think you're going to have to give 4 picks total when you give 2 first-round picks in consecutive years. That's kind of a rule of thumb for myself. You don't want to give up a king's ransom for it.
Well, I mean, you're going to have to give up a king's ransom for a king. I mean, right now, Lamar Jackson's, top 7.
Well, why aren't the Ravens giving it up for a king then? They already have him.
Because they don't want to pay that much. I mean, he'd get paid more than anybody in the NFL.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this: don't you think if Lamar was viewed as a king, and I'm not saying he's not an elite player, that somebody would have already dropped the bag on him and gotten him, including the team that he's been playing for?
Well, for a certain amount of money, I don't think how good you are. If it's too much, it's too much.
Nobody's arguing with that. Like, I'm not saying you're right. Like, the Deshaun Watson deal is absolutely ridiculous, but Lamar's asking for too much.
Okay, yeah, true. That's because, one, he doesn't have an agent. I'm just saying, if you're going to trade a guy like that, 2 first-rounders is the minimum. The absolute minimum.
Well, you have to.
I know. Even if you didn't have to, 2 first-rounders would be the minimum for that guy, at least. I wouldn't feel comfortable coming out of this unless I have 4+ picks trading a guy like that.
Well, would you rather have 4 picks and the 2 first-rounders you have to get with, let's say, a 4th, a 5th, or a 5th and a 6th, or 3 picks, the 2 first-rounders, and a 3rd-rounder in this year's draft?
Okay. I mean, I'd be okay with 3 picks, but I would much rather see. The thing about it is, like, late picks matter in the draft.
No, they do matter.
4th round and 5th round picks matter in the draft.
They do matter, but not as much. A 3rd round pick matters a lot more, in my opinion, than a 5th round pick.
Close, but I like it. I think it could happen. You're Texas. That'd be big for D'Amico Ryans. All right, I'm going a little Cardinals, Tennessee Titans. Ooh. All right, Titans coming in 11. Cardinals at 3. We know the Cardinals don't want to what? They just signed Kyler Murray to a big deal. So you're sitting in a great spot, obviously, because teams will reach and give up the bag to come get a guy who they think is going to be the guy for their team. So if this is me and I'm the Cardinals, I'm going straight to the Titans. I believe the Titans believe they missed on Malik Willis. All right, you're hearing Derrick Henry where?
Oh, I like this.
Derrick Henry where? Trade talks, right? We'll see kind of later. I don't think he's going to get traded anytime soon, but before the trade deadline for sure. So if I'm the Cardinals, I want your pick at 11. All right, that's mine. 42, that's mine. I want a 2024 first rounder. I want a 2024 3rd round pick.
What about Derrick Henry?
Yeah, I think so, because the Titans only have 6 picks. This is why I was talking about the Raiders with 12 going from 7 to 3. I looked at Titans at 11 going to 3 as well. They only have 6 picks in this year's draft. Your biggest asset's Derrick Henry, which they've already talked about shopping to the Eagles. I feel like you got to give him up.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't give up the Eagles, but the Eagles are sitting at 20.
No. I meant to the Cardinals.
To the Cardinals.
To the Cardinals?
Derrick Henry, the Cardinals.
I don't know. If you're the Cardinals, I don't think that's what you need right now. Yeah. I think if you're the Cardinals, what do you need? You need offensive linemen. You need defensive players. DeAndre Hopkins is going out. That's fine. You still have Hollywood Brown. I mean, you have the other guy who signed out of Purdue. I can't think of his name right now. And DeAndre Hopkins hadn't played
Rondale Moore.
Rondale Moore, who you drafted. DeAndre Hopkins, as elite as he is, it's tough for his ass to stay on the field.
It is. The market's a lot.
Buda Baker is going out.
Down,
so Buda Baker will probably be another trade asset. You can get to there's a lot of people, if you're the Cardinals, you can dish off. But I'm saying right now, for just this pick, right, I think you hit on earlier, if I'm the Cardinals, you hope to get a 2nd rounder out of DeAndre Hopkins. Maybe 2/3, I'd probably be okay with that. You're probably not going to get a 1st rounder just because what the market looks like when it comes to receivers. But if that's me, I want Titans. I want your pick at 11, 2024 first. Your pick at 42 and one more, I think, 2nd round pick in 2024. Because they're willing to give up. You have to think about what these teams are going to be willing to give up to go get a guy they think is going to change their program.
And who would that be? Who are you saying the Titans should move up to 3 with the Cardinals to get?
I mean, if C.J. Stroud's on the board, you got to get him.
Okay.
I agree 100%.
With that. You got to get him. Other than that, I don't think they should do this, but they're going to reach for Will Levis or Anthony Richardson, for sure. I mean, if anything, I'd reach for Anthony before I reach for Will.
See, part of me thinks, I wonder if with that 42nd pick, are they sitting here saying, you know what? we're looking at the board. Is Hendon Hooker going to be there at 42? Because if Hendon Hooker was there at 42,
I don't think.
I don't know if he's going to last that long. But I mean, if he's really worth it, I mean, do you take him at 11 if you trade up with the Titans, like Blaine's saying?
If you're the Titans,
if you're the Titans, if you trade up, if you're the Titans, because if you trade to number 3, Hendon Hooker's going to be. I don't think you take Hendon Hooker there at number 3, but do you say screw the trade? Let's wait till the 11th pick, and if Hendon's still there, let's take him.
I looked at all of these. I looked at the Raiders, the Falcons there at 8, and then the Titans at 11. What's so interesting about the Falcons and the Titans was they took 2 quarterbacks. They each took a quarterback last year, right? And Desmond Ridder, and like you said, and Malik Willis. So you already did that. And the Titans don't have a ton of picks. I mean, the Falcons are a little bit interesting, too. You could move up ahead of the Colts and the Raiders, who could potentially take quarterbacks in front of you. But the reason I like the Raiders is not only all the picks they have, but Jimmy Garoppolo, if you're going up to get C.J. Stroud, this is the only thing. If you're going up to get him. If not, I don't think any of these guys should be trading away a lot of assets to move up and get Will Levis or Anthony Richardson. But with the Raiders specifically, if you were to get C.J. Stroud and he falls to you at 3, he wouldn't have to start right away. Jimmy Garoppolo could start, and then if he does what he does a lot and gets hurt, then you could have a situation where C.J. Stroud.
Well, you know what they'll do? They'll draft Anthony Richardson to sit behind Jimmy Garoppolo
at 7, or move up to get him.
I
think you'd have to move up to get him. I think his name's going to be that hot tomorrow.
I'd watch out for the Washington Commanders too.
They'll probably that one too. Hold on,
they'll be a team that's willing. I don't know if they believe in Sam Howell. I really don't know if they do, but they'll be a team willing to make some moves and move up as well.
So they have 8 picks. The Commanders have 8 picks, and they're at 16, which is a lot lower than you would think for the season that they had. They were right there on the cusp of that playoff thing. So they're in like a weird position. You know,
kind
they
of
can make a
middle. Yeah. We'll see. It's going to be really interesting. There's going to be a ton of great prop bets for draft night. We're going to live stream it. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And if you're going to bet on the draft, there's only one spot to do it, and that's at DraftKings Sportsbook. So if you're in an area where you can sports gamble and you're going back and forth on sportsbooks, or maybe you're afraid to kind of jump in or dive in, give DraftKings Sportsbook a chance. Download the app now, and when you sign up with our code BOOSTER, that's BOOSTER, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly, win or lose. It's a great start. It's a win-win-win. I should just ask Michael Scott. That's only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code BOOSTER, BOOSTER. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details, guys. We got NBA playoffs as well, NHL playoffs, UFC, golf, college baseball, Major League Baseball, hell, underwater basket weaving, and that thing where you stare at a balloon next to
I got a nice little parlay on underwater basket weaving tonight.
Nice
little parlay.
Nice.
What
is it?
Later. I'll tell you later.
Can you tell me now?
They thread it perfectly.
Oh, okay. You're gonna thread the parlay.
Basket.
Well, you got the Indiana Threads versus the
And then,
San Antonio basketball.
Back-to-back champs.
The Washington Weavers.
The
Washington Weavers. Now you're talking, brother.
We mind mouth.
I'll tell you what, you put on a striped shirt and stuff starts making sense over there a lot quicker.
Just gotta let.
But download DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use that promo code BOOSTER as well for all of the great offers. Let's get to the Booster Club.
All right, Bradley Cogdale says, how do y'all, for the teams that matter, determine what picks are worth in trading up or down and all of that?
How do you determine it?
Yeah.
Well, again, I think you look on precedent. I think you look on what's happened before. How bad do teams really need things? And I always try and look at it from an even standpoint, because I can't look at it from the fact of how can this team just 100% fleece this team, because I don't know exactly the situation and inner workings of every personnel member and how they project to the future. But what I can say is this looks like a trade that both teams would agree on, right? It's like that software program they have, or like on Madden, where you put the trade in the trade thing and they weigh it to see if, green light, it's a good trade.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
We'll make that trade. Everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. So that's the way I look at it. I think it makes it not easier, but makes it more likely, or that it would have a better chance of happening, more applicable to what could actually happen on Thursday.
All right, stay in the Daily Wire chat. Coney, Lucky Bird, he wants to know, what do you think the Pats are going to go for in this draft?
Your guess is as good as mine.
I believe they're at 18.
What is Bill Belichick going to do? I mean, that's the question. And I was
118.
when we were doing all this yesterday, we were trying to figure out who moves up. It was like I was thinking about the Pats as well, with our boy McCorkle up there at quarterback. But it's so un-Bill Belichick-like to move up and go get players in the draft. Bill Belichick's GM side of running things, and not the coaching side, but the GM side, it always perplexes me. I've always appreciated his ability to identify a player's prime and sort of move on from players right before they're at the end of their prime in their careers. And I think that he's been a good GM from that standpoint. But in the draft, I don't know. I feel like he's
go get a receiver?
Missed,
So
maybe.
You're thinking offensive lineman at 18.
Which one would it be?
So they're at 14.
The Pats?
I got the Pats at 4. Wait, let me make sure I'm in the first round.
Yeah, I do
here.
too.
Yeah, I got them at 14.
So, but if they did go receiver at 14, what do you think? I mean, is Jackson Smith-Njigba there at 14?
I don't think he's going to be there. I think the Texans will take him at 12.
I think the Texans take him at 12 too.
Yeah,
actually.
So I mean, but again, I like.
I'd go.
Johnson.
Yeah, I'd go O-line probably if I'm the Pats. I go O-line, and I think BJ. What's his name? BJ Ojari from Michigan is projected in the second round to go to the Pats. Actually,
Really?
Mm-hmm. So, what about them moving back? Get a team that's back there in the 20s who wants to move up to 14, and maybe Bill Belichick sort of pads some of those picks. I'm trying to see how many picks they have.
I mean, if you're going to move up,
see, they already have 11. They have a lot of picks, so they don't need picks necessarily.
no.
Well, I mean, again, you look at a team like maybe the Saints, who aren't exactly in love with where they are after they traded that early pick with the Eagles. Do the Saints hit up the Patriots and say, listen, we want to be there at 14? And if you look at what the Saints have going on right now, we'll see. You got Derek Carr coming into town. Michael Thomas says he's going to take a pay cut to go out there. I love Olave, some of the pieces that they have.
That could be interesting.
That may be a team.
How about the Dolphins? Boy, what do you think the Dolphins are going to do here? Because they have forfeited their first-round pick with the tampering allegations with Stephen Ross. So they don't get a pick in the first round. I know that's a divisional rival with the Pats, but even beyond the Patriots, could the Dolphins make some trades here, maybe even give up some pieces they already have, and move up and try and get a first-round pick? When you look at the Dolphins, the big question is Tua. You bring in Mike White. They're not going to take a quarterback, I don't believe. I just always, and I know they have some nice pieces on the offensive line. You look at the weapons they have outside. They don't need more. Everybody needs more weapons, but they're one of the teams that's pretty, suffice to say, happy with where they're at from the skill position on offense. I'd look either defensive or offensive line. And the Miami Dolphins have the fewest picks in this year's draft at 4.
Well, what's the best way to keep Tua healthy? Go get some guys that can protect them.
Yeah.
Let's go to Mike RFF. It's a lifestyle, baby. Hashtag Guys Crain Company. Should the Bears go all in on Derrick Henry trade? If not, where do you likely see Henry ending up?
I think it would take a lot for the Titans to move him, honestly. But you look at running backs, the older they get, obviously the more they get worn down, they get moved on from fast enough. But Derrick Henry still has a lot of really good years in him. Chicago's sitting there at 9. All right, so I don't think the Titans would trade up from 11 to 9 to make that move. Do the Bears look, and I know drafting running backs in the first round is frowned upon. They need help at the skill position to help Justin Fields. You got rid of Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith. So if I'm the Bears at 9, I mean, I'm looking at Nolan Smith or maybe somebody from Georgia on that defensive side of the ball and saying, hey, we need help there. But if you are going to go skill position, I think there's one guy you take, and his name's Bijan Robinson.
Bijan Robinson. I knew you were going to go there. Yep. On Nolan Smith, I think his prop odds on DraftKings right now, his over-under is 10.5.
I know. Look, I think the Eagles want him. I think the Eagles want him bad at 10. Because all they're doing is putting together a Georgia and Alabama team. Why not? Why the hell not? And you get to put him behind that defensive line.
I mean, you can never go wrong with picking anybody from Georgia or Alabama.
That's exactly right. It's the easiest strategy ever.
Yeah, if I'm the Bears, I don't even think we got enough to give up for Derrick Henry. I don't think we got enough players.
You got DJ Moore now, man.
You'd have to offer half the team to give up to get Derrick Henry, and I don't think they'll do it. But if I am at 9, all right, what am I doing? This might be boring. I might be boring you. I'm going to get an offensive tackle.
I don't think.
Give me that thing from Northwestern.
Yeah,
who was born.
Yeah, you're already basically here.
Yeah, if that's me, if I'm the Bears, I don't think you give all that up to go get. I have a question here from JT Bryan. What's up, JT? Chances the Packers move up to get a new quarterback?
No, they're going to give Jordan Love a chance.
You think so?
Yeah. They don't do. You don't do all this and then move up and get somebody to play in Jordan Love after you've kept him for 3 years and tried to groom him for this moment. When I look at
especially with next year's draft class.
With what you have coming out if it doesn't work out, it's a great point. The Packers are sitting there at 13. And when I look at the Packers, it's pretty simple. What's the best way to help out Jordan Love? Offensive line, you feel fine about with the Packers right now. You like Aaron Jones. Lazard's gone. You got to go get him some help outside. Now, who is that? Because if I'm sitting here and I'm the Texans who want Jackson Smith and Jigba at 12, I'm sitting one pick ahead of the Packers, which is fantastic. So I'm not worried about them taking them from me. I still think J&S is going to be the highest, the first receiver taken here. You got to get some help on the outside, in my opinion. I know you have boy from North Dakota State, whose name for some reason, Christian Watson.
Yep.
His name escaped me for a second. He's a straight line guy. He is a vertical 9-route guy. I don't trust him coming out of the dig and making the catch. I don't think his hips are good enough to consistently beat guys in the interior of the field in between the hashes. I think he's a vertical, like I said, 9-route guy. You got to get somebody who's got some witch in him.
I mean, God, if you're Aaron Rodgers, just watching the Packers take a skill position in the first round on offense would just piss me off.
Well, it would, but then I'd realize,
so
hey, I'm at the Jets.
Hey,
we can stop people.
What about little Dalton Kincaid?
I don't think that'd be a bad pick. That dude's a dog.
I mean, you did draft Christian Watson. I mean, get that thing running around at tight end.
Put him in the middle of the field. Security blanket. Oh, put yourself around me. All right, remember, we have call-ins today, and donos get read first. Let's get to rapid fire.
Rapid fire. All right. NBA playoffs.
Yes.
So 2 of the 3 series got closed out last night. Nuggets came back to beat the Timberwolves. Devin Booker had 40, what did he have, 46?
Mm-hmm. D-Book's nice.
47, had 47 for the Suns to beat the Clippers, but the Atlanta Hawks figure out a way to upset Boston on the road.
Yeah, I'll start with the Hawks. Trae Young was unbelievable down the stretch line last night. We saw Jimmy Butler will the Heat toward a win, but guys, watching that Hawks game, the Hawks were hitting threes the whole game. I mean, it was everybody brought their lunch pail to the yard yesterday. Sadiq Bey was hitting threes. John Collins was hitting threes. Everybody was playing their role. And the Celtics, it almost played with their food for too long, it felt like. They'd be up kind of like the Bucks were at the Heat the other night. They'd be up 8-10, 6-8. And it felt like the Celtics were up 15 the whole game just because they were dominating. But at the end, in that last 5 or 6 minute stretch, just like the Heat went on a run, I think the Hawks went on a 15-2 run, but Trae Young was the one who made the big shots in the big moments. There's a reason that they call him Ice Trae. I felt a little bit of this, and I want to make sure I give enough credit to the Hawks, but I felt a little bit of this was the Celtics relaxing. Mm-hmm. And what cost the Celtics the championship last year? Not just turnovers, but turnovers win late.
Yep.
It's so shocking to me to see the Celtics continue to make bad decisions late in big postseason games. You have a chance to send the Hawks home in your building to get some extra rest, because guess who you got coming down the pipe next round, buddy? The 76ers. And that's not going to be a walk in the park by any stretch of the imagination. So you could have had a ton of time to rest, but no. Now you got to drag your ass back to Atlanta for a game, which is not an easy place to win, especially with the way Trae's playing right now. So you drop that one, then it's balls to the wall game 7, win or go home with a team that's playing with house money in the Atlanta Hawks in your building. So you better tighten it up, because you may be able to sneak from it the first round, but the Sixers are coming. Joel Embiid and them are coming, and they're going to be rested and pissed off for greatness. So you got the more talented team in this round, but when I'm looking next round, it's almost even to me, fellas, with Joel Embiid down there.
You're talking about Joel Embiid. I mean, Al Horford for the Celtics can't have three points.
No.
You can't have 3 points in 6. I know he had 5
If you're
blocks.
relying on Al, who's like 60 years old.
Got to get more than
But Al played phenomenal defense.
He had 5 blocks.
Phenomenal.
That's a lot.
Jason Tatum has to have that closing, killing mentality. You can't go 1 for 10 from 3, dog. Mm-hmm. You can't have 19. Your running mates out here almost dropping a 40.
What did we say all last
year? What did we say all last year in the postseason?
Yeah.
Like, especially in the finals? Yeah. Who was the dog for the Celtics? Who was the man with the ball? It was Jaylen Brown. It was Batman. Put on the mask. I'm not Bruce Wayne anymore. I'm coming here fighting crime and trying to win us a championship. But Jason Tatum puts on the invisibility cloak and just go hides in Hagrid's house.
I mean, and it's not like he's playing bad. I mean, he had 19
No,
points.
you're a superstar. Play like a superstar.
You have to have that closing killer mentality. Like if I had to send to assassinate somebody, and had to pick a guy off the Celtics team, Jason Tatum ain't the guy.
He's not the guy.
Well, he could have a great game and then win with 19 points. It's not just about the points. The other point you made, 1 for 10 from 3.
Can't happen.
Like if you're having 19 points points, you need to have a LeBron-esque distribution
Yes,
game.
absolutely. You better be an all-around type of cat if you're going to do that. I mean, if you're the Hawks, you did this out with Javonte Murray.
Yep.
Not in the game. I mean, Trey had a 30-plus and a 13 assist. I mean, but this is who Trey is, the same Hawks team that wants to trade Trey Young, so which is surprising to me. But I still think, I mean, you look at it, the Hawks almost shot 50% from three.
No, that's what I'm saying. I watched the whole game.
That's ridiculous, right? 100% from the free throw line.
Yeah.
The Celtics shot 53%. The Celtics out-rebounded the Hawks. Shot a better field goal percentage. Like the Celtics, this is one of those games where like you felt like you played better than them and you still lost. I think the Celtics are going to win the series because I think they're an overall better team.
In Game 6?
Yeah. I think they're going to close it out in Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm not huge on the plus-minus stat, which if you don't know, the plus-minus stat is just how your team did when you were on the court. Last night with Jason Tatum on the court, the Celtics were -9. So they were down 9 points with him on the court. The only person that was higher was Marcus Smart, was at -12. Derek White last night, they were +9 when he's on the court. Derek White had a really good game. If they win a championship, he's going to be a very, very unheralded piece of it because he hit some big shots yesterday in moments. He was the guy taking the three-pointers in big moments in the second half, and he was hitting them. I think he ended up going, he was only 2 of 5, but hit 2 big ones with 7-11 from the field, gave you 4 assists, 2 blocks, and 5 rebounds. So Derek White, man, I mean, Jason Tatum's got to figure it out from 3. You mentioned the Nuggets. The Nuggets were just the better team. We talked about that the whole time. They ended up winning by 3 points. Wasn't their best performance. Jokic had the dagger late. But guys, and I know we're going to you talked about Devin Booker and all that's great. The Clippers did not have Paul George or Kawhi Leonard.
Can't do anything without them.
And I know, but you scored 130 points.
It's crazy.
This is my problem with the Suns. They're finesse. The Suns are a finesse jump shooting team. That's what they are. And so when the jump shots aren't falling, not only are they going to struggle to score a ton of points, but they're going to give up a ton of points. I mean, you look back through this whole series, the Suns' defense is going to cost them. You gave up 30 in the first, 40 in the second. 40 points in the second. I mean, you had Norman Powell scored 27 points, all right? 8 of 10 from the free throw line. Westbrook, ended up with 14. He was just all right. But, man, Plumlee goes for 20. Batum goes for 19. The Suns are going to, I'm telling you, I'm feeling so good about the Nuggets right now. The only thing that scares me, if I'm a Nuggets fan, isn't the Warriors. That's not what scares me. What scares me is the Lakers because Anthony Davis can neutralize Jokic a little bit. He's athletic and big enough to do it. That's the team out of the West that would worry me if I'm the Nuggets. But right now, the Suns couldn't stop a nosebleed in a nurse's office.
And the Lakers, that brings us to tonight. So they come to Memphis. They're up 3-1 against the Grizzlies. Are they going to close this one out tonight?
I like the Grizzlies tonight. I think Ja goes dumb.
Ja's been going dumb.
No, I need him to go dumb.
Like he dropped 45 the other day.
I need him to do it again.
I mean, all right. The thing about me is like, look, I blame this all on Dylan Brooks. Blaming all you had to sit there and say something. Yeah. No, you wanted to poke the bear and be that guy. Now you don't even want to talk to the media. You deserve this.
See, that's the part.
If I'm the Grizzlies, your ass is gone, buddy. Yeah. Gone. You pissed. The one thing you couldn't do was piss these guys off, right? And what'd you do? You pissed them off. LeBron had that look in his eye the other day when he dropped 20-20. That same look when he was at the Heat. Hands on the knees, the eyes low. You pissed them off, all right? So I wouldn't be surprised if they came out here and won this game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
I wouldn't either. Kings, Warriors, so this one's tied 2-2. De'Aaron Fox says he's going to play.
Give me the Kings, man.
Really?
Yes. They find a way.
How healthy is he going to be?
It's on his shooting hand. That's what sucks.
It's not good.
It's on his shooting hand.
Because he is good.
But,
it's not good.
But
which finger?
De'Aaron is such a, I hope it's the pinky. De'Aaron is such a threat on the drive that I think at worst he can still be a really good decoy. But the Kings are going to have to win this game like they've been, like when they've played well and won. It's a team effort.
You knew this series was going to be a dogfight.
Yeah.
We were talking about this before. You went up 2-0. Congratulations. I'd be surprised if it doesn't go 6 some way or another.
I'm feeling 7.
I'm at 7.
Yeah. I thought this was going to go 7, but I really have to. I'm taking the Warriors tonight. One of my bets. If there's anybody who knows how to close, right? That guy you sell cards. That one guy named Rick in there for some reason can just always go and finish a deal. That's Steph Curry. All right, that's Klay Thompson. That's Draymond. These guys know how to close games. All right. So if it's me, I think the Warriors, because if without De'Aaron Fox, they're not going to be the same team. De'Aaron Fox is the engine that makes the Kings go.
So you think the Warriors win tonight on the road, go back home and win in 6
and close,
and don't go 7?
I don't know. I have to see De'Aaron. If De'Aaron Fox's hand is messed up to where he can't really shoot as well, I don't think the Kings will have enough to run with these guys. And especially if Steph's playing like Steph, Clay's playing like Clay, because like the Warriors wear you down in a series. That's what they run you so much. I want to see the amount of miles or how many steps taken De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk have to do to chase these guys around. You get worn down in these series.
Bucks Heat up 3-1.
Yeah, I like the Bucks tonight big. I like the Bucks tonight
Double-digit
big.
favorite.
They got obviously
11.5.
way the game. I just don't think Jimmy's going to score 56 again. I mean,
double-digit favorite. This line.
But again, Cone. And I know you did. If you watch that game, and that was in Miami. The last one was in Miami. The Bucks are the better team.
I get it.
I know they're down 3-1, and that sounds crazy. But I believe in gravity, right? In a 7-game series, I do believe in gravity. What would scare the hell out of me isn't this game if I'm the Bucks. You got to get through it. You got to win it. It's that Game 6 at Miami. Because that's, again, Jimmy can heat up for one. You've seen it. He's
done it for 3 now.
He's done it for 3.
If this were just a one-off situation or you just have a bad night shooting, it's basketball. That always happens.
56?
They're down 3-1. In the last game they lost, Giannis had a triple-double, and Lopez had, 36? Maybe over 40?
Yeah, I just don't think the Heat are, especially Jimmy. Not that Jimmy won't have 40, but it's the way he got him, too. Like, I don't see it again. I think this one goes 7. I think the Bucks win in 7.
I agree. I think the Bucks are going to win this game at home. I think they hopefully don't cover, but I'm afraid they might. So I do think the Bucks are the better team. I think they go win. I think it's going to be a lot closer, obviously, when you go back to Miami. But I just don't see Jimmy doing this every game.
You got Heat plus 11
and without Tyler Hero, all right, Bam's a great player. But Bam's one of those guys who plays a lot better in the regular season than he does in the playoffs. And it's kind of the opposite with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler plays really well in the playoffs, and he plays good in the regular season, but not to this level. So I do think the Bucks, there's a reason they're double-digit favorite. How they're down 3-1 at this point, well, obviously Giannis with his back injury, I just think you can equate that Heat win to 2 things, Jimmy Butler and being at home.
Well, also, and I want to say Eric Spoelstra is a hell of a coach.
One of the best.
A hell of a coach. I think he just tied Red Auerbach in playoff wins.
He's one of the best.
After winning the last one, like Eric Spoelstra's done it with LeBron James in the Big 3 and some unheralded guys. Mm-hmm. The Heat have 7 undrafted players that play for them.
I love that.
It's an incredible
stat.
It's you talk about Pat Riley and them understanding what they're looking at when they're taking people. It's and understanding how to find a diamond in the rough. But no, fantastic stuff.
All right, last one quickly. Knicks are up 3-1 in their series with the Cavs. This one's in Cleveland tonight. Do they close it out?
No. Cavs win this game.
Yeah, I think Donovan Mitchell goes off tonight.
Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell. I think the Knicks are going to win the series. I do, but I think the Cavs squeak this one out. The Cavs, the biggest surprise to me this whole series is the Knicks defense. That's been the biggest surprise. I don't think it's a lack of scoring when it comes to the Cavs. I think they're good offensively, but the Knicks are playing physical, in-your-face defense, and they keep playing like that. They have the weapons on the offensive side of the ball to make a run.
Yeah, I think R.J. Barrett's the key for the Knicks. We know Jalen Brunson is going to do his thing. I mean, that's what he's shown us. There's a reason he got paid. He's probably my favorite player in the NBA right now. But when R.J. Barrett is attacking the rim and the mid-range falling, he's a problem. He's a legitimate problem. Now, I'm not relying on R.J. Barrett to hit the 3, but remember this. The Knicks have been winning these games without Julius Randle playing very well. I mean, Julius Randle was on the bench for toward the end of the game last game, but you had other guys step up, right? Hartenstein, guys that nobody's really ever heard of out here playing solid defense, and they're playing through each other. I love the way the Knicks play the game. I love their toughness with like guys like Deuce McBride and some of these no-name guys out there that go out and just absolutely hound you on the defensive end. Shout out to Bob Huggins in West Virginia there. But I like the Cavs.
You've given up over 100 points one time.
Yeah.
One game.
Physicality, man. And communication. Wow. Physicality and communication.
Love that.
That's a great adjustment for them. All right, little Booster Club action?
Yeah, I want to make sure first, but before we get to the Booster Club, I want to save face, okay? And I want to save your face, all right? Because you can go to Brazil or Colombia and get crazy things done to your face, but why would you do that? If you're tired of dealing with puffy eye bags, dry skin, and wrinkles, and you just want to look and feel your best every day, then start taking your skincare routine seriously and check out our friends at Genucel Skincare. I've been using this. Reed absolutely loves it. Because look, having good skin isn't just for women, all right? We don't have good skin too. You want to be silky smooth?
Silky smooth.
You need this. All right. The products I've tried, from everything from the dark spot corrector, the ultra retinol moisturizer, everything is fantastic. But this deal, okay, it's a steal of the century. Absolutely a steal of the century. If you visit genucel.com/booster, all right, that's GENUCEL.com/booster, you save over 70% off their most popular package, which includes the dark spot corrector. Congrats, it's corrected. As well as the ultra retinol and under eye treatment. Cone knows all about that. Under his eyes right now, he went totally Benjamin Button. He looks like he's about 18 now as compared to the Crypt Keeper, like me and him look in the morning when we don't have it. But every ordered subscription includes a luxury gift box with these 3 free springtime essentials just in time for warmer weather and free shipping. I mean, luxury box, 70% off, free shipping is basically free, all right? And you don't even go to jail if this happens, all right? This is a legitimate transaction in America. So go to genucel.com, GENUCEL.com/booster, BOOSTER. That's genucel.com/booster. Ladies, get on this for your men, all right? Men, get on this if you want to find a lady. There you go. It's a win-win. Booster Club, quickly.
All right, let's go to CG87343 with a $5 donation. Appreciate it. Says, always wanted to ask, why does the NBA play in 4 quarters, but college basketball plays in 2 halves? If anything, I think the opposite would be the case.
You would think, because the women's basketball does the 4-quarter system similar to the NBA. The men need to do the 4-quarter system. It's just better. The fouls are better. There's no 1-and-1. All right, it's either a shooting foul or you get to 5 fouls in the quarter and it's automatically 2. I think the timeouts are better. I think the flow is better. I think the gameplay would be better. I think the way you can substitute is better. And it's a shorter halftime. I like that as well. 15-minute halftime as opposed to 20 minutes. It should go to 4 quarters, but nobody's going to listen to me.
That's not true. Let's go to L4E. What do you think the Sacramento Kings need to do to add to be a championship contender?
They're doing exactly what they're doing. Keep adding pieces, but keep this core, because you found the identity, right? You're not the pretty boys. You're not the guys out there in San Francisco or they're on the bay, eating caviar and oysters and doing the Blackstone massage treatment every Thursday at 3:30. You guys are from Sacramento, all right? You're closer to Bakersfield, I believe. You guys are more cowboy country. I saw a homeless guy at an outdoor mall with his eye popping out, and that was normal, all right? You need to be tough. I like this tough identity, this core of young guys that want to make the Kings relevant again. I think you do exactly what you're doing.
So what's the core?
Sabonis.
Okay.
I would say Fox, because I think what Sabonis gives you is that he's tough enough down low, but he's a scorer. De'Aaron Fox gives you that competitive nature, in your guard room. When it comes to the other guys on the Kings, do the Kings have other superstars? No, I'm not saying that they have the best personnel that they possibly could, or they even have the best personnel in the playoffs. But when it comes down to team identity, I think they have the right guard, which De'Aaron Fox is the quarterback, right? I mean, I guess you would have to say he's a quarterback. And Sabonis is your most deadly guy down low. It's just the truth. So I would say that's really the core. I don't want to sit here and start just adding random guys to it. I think you build off those two with, I like Malik Monk.
I keep Malik
Monk. He's a good piece. He's good driving.
Keegan Murray
shoot. Keegan Murray is going to be really, really, really good. He's starting to come on and be more aggressive, right? That was the knock on him. But you're young. You've got a good mix. You've got a tough-ass guard at the point and a guy down low that can hang with anybody on the boards and can score with his back to his basket and with the mid-range jumper.
Go get Jaylen Brown. Go get Jaylen Brown from the Celtics. You're winning a championship.
I mean, if you can get him, great. I just don't.
They got the space for him.
I don't think the Celtics give him up. The
Celtics were in trade talks this year with Jaylen Brown.
I know, that's crazy.
Well, just because you're in trade talks doesn't mean.
Well, that means they're willing to give him up.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Insane.
Hey, we were going to give you Jaylen, but hey, now that we're talking, boy, Al, man, he's really doing a good job.
You got to hold on to Jaylen. All right, NHL playoffs quickly. So the Stars go up 3-2 on the Wild last night. Oilers go up 3-2 on the LA Kings, and then the Carolina Hurricanes. Upset at home by the Islanders, busted my parlay. I'll never, ever forgive you until maybe the next time you play.
Hey, you got a big parlay tonight.
I know.
I was shocked. I was shocked the Canes lost. If you watch and I know
Islanders look good.
Just because the game, well, early the Canes were beating them up and down. They just couldn't finish. I mean, Oboy in goal for the Isles kept them in it. Just Solikin kept them in it the whole time, and then they were finally able to get that first period goal that kind of scrambles in front of the net. That they're able to score there, and that gave them some life. The Islanders looked different after that first goal because it looked like they were chasing. I mean, the Canes from the initial face-off, the first 10 minutes of that period, as bombs over Baghdad, man. And then after the Isles scored, they were able to stay in it. But we want to know what you think. So make sure you give us a shout at 1-855-236-3228. Not shocked by the Oilers or the Wild winning last night.
No,
I mean,
no.
we
at home.
Yeah.
Still wouldn't be surprised.
I'm always
Stars
shocked when you 4-0 somebody. Right? When the Wild, you don't score a goal.
Not 4-0 in the series.
No, like you beat someone
I mean,
like,
the Stars
you
won
skunked somebody.
That was a little surprising, but I think
Basically.
both those series could still go 7.
Well, we said that one's going back and forth, right? The Wild and the Stars, we talked about going 7.
Then you got Bruins-Panthers tonight. That's 3-1, and it's in Boston. And then you got Avalanche-Kraken. That one's 2-2, and it goes to Colorado.
Yeah, I like the Avs and Bruins tonight, which definitely means either the Panthers or Kraken are going to win one of these games. When you look at the Panthers, we talked about the Bruins. I believe they lost the first game. The Panthers have kind of owned them a little bit in the regular season. So if you're a Bruins fan, you're feeling great. Most dominant NHL regular season, President's Trophy, which we all know is basically the kiss of death in the postseason. But you had dominated so much that you run into a team that actually, one of the two teams, them and the Senators, that had your number during the regular season. Mm-hmm. You get a little nervous, but you're up 3-1. I think they close it tonight. And I think the Avs go up 3-2.
All right, let's move on here. We talked about Notre Dame quarterback Tyler Buckner entering the transfer portal. Yeah. His OC last year at Notre Dame, Tommy Rees. Tommy Rees is now the OC at where? Alabama. And the Crimson Tide hosted Tyler Buckner for a visit this week after their subpar quarterback performance in the spring game.
I said this yesterday when this came out because our buddy Brandon Marcello said there was interest from Alabama and Auburn, and I don't think Buckner's better than the best guy in either one of those.
I agree with you.
Auburn already has a guy that's not the best thrower that runs well. That's Robbie Ashford, and he's a better runner than Buckner is. I'd take Jalen Milroe over Buckner right now after watching what he did last year and watching what Buckner did last year. Buckner doesn't throw well at all. At all. He's a good runner. I don't think he's an elite runner, but Here's my point, because you had some people on social media and saying, well, you know what, just bring him in and he can sit. Nick Saban, if he goes to Alabama, doesn't bring in people to not compete.
Sure.
And this kid's still early enough in his career where he's not saying, you know what, I just want to go to Bama and be a coach. That kid ain't quitting on his career this early. You've lost your damn mind if you think that. But when you look at this situation, I think it screams problems right now in the quarterback room in Alabama. Not that Ty Simpson's a bad player or that Jalen Milroe's a bad player, but obviously if you're bringing this guy in with the way that Saban thinks, he's not bringing him in to be a distraction or hold a clipboard. He legitimately thinks he can win the job. Now, there's two different things that go into this. One, when you have two young quarterbacks, okay, that you always talk about competing. I'm not saying that people don't want to compete. But regardless, if you bring in a guy that they look at and say, well, that guy was just average, but we're bringing him in, does this mean we're below average? Like, are we not what they thought? Even if you're the most competitive guy, we're human beings. That thought's gonna enter your mind. And then if one guy transfers out, let's say Milroe or Buckner transfers out, well, now there's an even better chance that Buckner becomes the starting quarterback. And after what we've seen, you just don't believe. And my last point, this is more Nick Saban's offense than it is Tommy Rees's. Everybody needs to understand this. Tommy Rees isn't walking into Alabama saying, hey, Nick, this is what we're going to do. That's not how that's working. You've had some guys that had more of a leash, like Lane Kiffin and Sark and Bill O'Brien. Tommy Rees is a young kid that made a smart career decision. He's going to run what Nick Saban wants. And somebody said, well, what do you mean it's Nick Saban's offense? Well, let me give you a hint. You got to know one to know the other. You don't think Nick Saban knows what the hell to do or what an offense is doing or how to run the power out of 12 personnel or split zone? You can't defend something if you don't know what the hell it is. Nick Saban wants it run a certain way now. Tommy Rees is going to shut up and say, yes, sir. But the cool thing is, I think in their identities and what Saban wants to do and who Tommy Rees has been, there's a lot of parallels and they meet in the middle on a lot of this stuff, so it's going to make it easier. But make no mistake, this isn't a great sign by Alabama if they bring him in.
I'll give you a personal example that I think is apropos here when you talk about this being Nick Saban's offense. So I played for Lloyd Carr at the University of Michigan, who was a defensive-minded coach, came from the defensive side of the ball at least. Lloyd Carr wasn't in there game planning offenses, right? Lloyd Carr probably didn't know the entire name of an offensive play that we ran. Scott Loeffler and Mike DeBoer were running the offense. But it was Coach Carr's identity on offense that they were calling and running. And when it was time to throw a double move to Mario Manningham on 3rd and 6, Coach Carr would let that be known that that was the type of play that he wanted run, and it's on the coaches to dial up the best one and get the specifics right. I was trying to figure out a way where this isn't a big deal for Alabama. Maybe, just the familiarity between Tommy Rees and Tyler Buckner, bring him in for a visit. That's fairly innocuous, doesn't mean he's signing with the team. But to me, it is a big deal because we've just come off of the spring game where the quarterbacks at Alabama were underwhelming. Now you're going to bring in a guy who really did not perform well at Notre Dame instead of, like you were talking about yesterday, Blaine, maybe trying to get a Tyler Van Dyke from Miami. I know they've had their eye on Drake May at North Carolina for a long time. It doesn't seem like he's going anywhere. So I really don't know what Alabama can do here in just the few weeks of the transfer portal to solve the quarterback position problem.
You get what the transfer portal gives.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see at the end of the day. But, obviously, I don't believe in Tyler Buckner when it comes to, especially being the quarterback at Alabama. But, man, if he brings them in, I think, I don't think more competition is a bad thing.
No, but nobody's
I know no one's saying that, but I'm saying, if you're Alabama, you did lose Bryce Young. You knew you're going to go through some growing pains. Especially nowadays, it's hard to keep a guy on a roster who has talent at the quarterback position.
Yeah. You know who this is starting to sound a lot like? Clemson.
Yeah.
Think about the run of quarterbacks Clemson went through. But you're not going to hit on all the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the DJU situation happens. I'm not saying it's the exact same thing, but there's some parallels there a little bit. Nobody is perfect. You're not always going to hit. And Alabama has gone through a run of incredible quarterbacks. Just look at the NFL. You remember when there was no Alabama quarterbacks in the NFL? That wasn't a thing?
Yeah.
You remember when Alabama players really didn't win the Heisman? Mm-hmm. When that was a thing? Now, that would be crazy to think about now.
And they're about to have one go first overall.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Who won the Heisman?
Another one here, Houston running back Alton McCaskill, the 4th, has entered the transfer portal. So he had 961 rushing yards and 16 TDs in 2021. I think the most for a freshman that year. Got injured in the spring game the year before the 2022 season, so sat out. Now he's had an incredible spring practice. Now he's going to transfer from Houston. Head coach Dana Holgorsen said he wishes him well, but he's a bit surprised and disappointed that he's
it's part of it, the availability to be able to leave whenever, which is part of it.
And then Will Levis, the odds, we talked about this a little bit, but Will Levis's odds improving to go number 1 overall from the Reddit report. Come on.
How easy y'all gonna fall for these traps? You want to know if I was an NFL organization, I don't know, maybe the Texans, and I wanted to trade that number 2 pick. I don't know, maybe the Colts at number 4, because deep down we all know they want Will Levis. What if you just got a random intern to just post something on Reddit, and then all of a sudden it works? It worked. The easiest trick ever.
Imagine believing anything on Reddit.
Yeah.
Anything at all. I promise you, it's not true. That's what people just go to Reddit to lie.
Yes.
That's like getting bit by something and then looking up the internet. What do you think it is?
Yeah, you're dead.
It never works. So you're dying in 15 minutes.
You have cancer, whatever.
That's what I was thinking the other day because I was reading this Reddit report where it said Blaine is a flaming dragon on Fridays. And I was like, come on, man. There's just no way. There's no way.
Playing with your life today, huh? Good for you.
All right, it's Wednesday. Remember, we got calls 1-855-236-3228. Yeah, that's right. David, every Wednesday, we know, look, he's really a 75-year-old that's trapped in a 34-year-old's body.
Yeah,
Excuse me,
right. Yeah,
73-year-old. So this is one of our favorite segments. It's Get Off My Lawn. David, who's G'ing off your L today?
CJ Stroud doubters need to get off my lawn.
I don't take no kiss.
Reports have surfaced that former Ohio quarterback CJ Stroud's draft stock is plummeting due to poor performance on the S2 cognitive test. Now, for clarification, this S2 test does not evaluate IQ or intelligence like the Wonderlic does, but rather it measures game speed processing ability, which is certainly a vital intangible for the quarterback position. You know what else is a vital intangible? playing good in games, which is what I've watched CJ do time and time again. In the past 2 seasons, this kid was a back-to-back Heisman finalist. He combined for over 8,000 passing yards and 85 touchdowns. Oh, in his final game, he had the Georgia Bulldogs on the ropes in the fourth quarter with 348 through the air, 4 TDs, and no picks. That's the same Georgia that beat TCU 65-7. So when I hear a former NFL exec say, red alert, this guy's a bust, I immediately understand why that person chose to remain anonymous. And Mr. Anonymity went on to say, no Buckeye QB has ever performed well in the NFL. Well, that one I do enjoy just a bit. But look, as a former Michigan quarterback, I would rather these guys start doing better in the league and worse in Columbus. Then maybe the Wolverines can keep this winning streak going. But that aside, I understand the reasoning behind these cognitive examinations. You're about to pay a young kid $30+ million. And while I'd rather score in the 98th percentile on any test they put in front of me rather than the 18th percentile like Stroud, what I'd like even more is to have CJ's game film, his poise in the pocket, his humility during interviews. These tests are a tool, not the entire story. Take the Wonderlic, for example. Ryan Fitzpatrick and Greg McElroy recorded near-perfect scores of 48. Meanwhile, Dan Marino, Donovan McNabb, and Terry Bradshaw each scored well below average at 15. Those 3 men have 4 Super Bowl rings, 2 gold jackets, and over 125,000 NFL passing yards. So I'm not buying any of this CJ Stroud is a bust talk, and the teams that do buy it need to get off my lawn.
Very nice. It's true. It's true. S2 test? How about the G test? You balled against Georgia. Congrats. Here, let me just make sure you're not the biggest POS in the world. Okay, you're not. You're a cool dude. That's fine. Let's come play quarterback for me.
I mean, what do you think?
I think what you said, the tool. The best thing you said was it's a tool, not the whole
Yes,
story.
I don't want people to over-exaggerate and say, oh, they need to get rid of these tests or, these things are outdated. Do all the tests. Before you pay someone $30 million, I'm going to be doing all the tests I can, but you can't overweigh them and say, you know what, all that game film for 2 years of 85 touchdown passes.
Doesn't matter.
And 6 interceptions. 6 interceptions each season. He had over 40 TDs and 6 interceptions. That doesn't matter because I want to see this new, game process.
That's the test.
Yeah.
Right. The test is your film from college. We're not doing a spelling bee out here. Like, dog, can you play quarterback? And if you're a coach, or I'm not even a coach, a fan, I don't care if you're blind. CJ Stroud is. Anthony Richardson barely had over 50% completion percentage. Will Levis was mediocre in his last year at Kentucky. CJ Stroud balled every year at Ohio State, and they're not playing scrubs week in and week out. So, well done, Dave.
Yeah.
Look, on the Will Levis thing, I get it. Like, if I understand that CJ Stroud had more weapons, a better offensive line, and was getting better plays called for him, and the offensive scheme was different. But at some point, you have to look at the accuracy factor and the touchdown to interception ratio, which each year Will Levis started at Kentucky, he had double-digit interceptions. I know that great wide receivers can get you out of bind sometimes, but sometimes that's you forcing the football.
No, it's true. And again, I'm with Blaine. There's many tools that go into an evaluation, but the best tool is you actually doing the thing. If I want to know if you're a good pipe fitter, I'm not going to sit down and give you a test about how many, what's the 9th planet away from the sun. I'm going to watch you fit pipes. And if you're good at that, I'm going to hire you. And if I know you're not going to rob me or steal from me, then I'm probably going to hire you. I do want to say we have an update. The network right now on the phone line, something's that's out of our control is down. It's broken. So if you're calling in and something's wrong, that's why. We'll let you know if it gets fixed. But let's go ahead to the.
Man, I say one thing about Flaming Dragon on Friday, and
that's the phone line.
Playing with your life. I told you.
I'll take that one.
Everybody.
Booster Club, that one's on me.
Yeah. What do we got?
Right, let's get to some donos here. Heartbroken Hog with a $5 donation. As my thing flips. Hey guys, I might be from the South, but I'm a huge Packers fan.
Yeah.
All right. Who do y'all think they need to give JP the best chance for success?
JP, you talking about Jordan Love?
I think he means JL.
Yeah, JL. Like, who do they need to get? Who do they need to? Well, you need to add pieces at the skill position. Mm-hmm. But you're good at running back. Like, I love Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones is an offensive piece. What he can do out of the backfield, receiving,
Dylan,
running, and AJ Dillon. You have your thunder and lightning, right? You have your red zone guy, and I think Aaron's fine in the red zone as well. I've enjoyed watching his career. I've kept up with it with great interest. But when you look at Christian Watson, I'll say it again. Not saying he's a bad player at all. I think he's a good player, but he is a stiff-hipped, vertical 9-route runner. That's who he is. Or run the post. All right, he's not going to sit here and break guys down. You're going to be able to put him in motion. He can try and outrun people across the field because he is a long strider. That's one of the best parts about him. Once he gets going, it's kind of like Quentin Johnson a little bit, right, from TCU. And when I'm looking at wiggle and hip stiffness, they're about the same. Now, I think Quentin's bigger. I think Quentin's longer. But they're similar in the way that they attack you, right? Christian Watson's really good in a jump ball situation. I think that's an underrated part of his game. They both, once they get going, they are covering a lot of ground. But the Packers, the best way to help a quarterback is where? Up front and outside. And to me right now, I think the Packers, from an offensive line standpoint, are in a pretty decent spot. You can always get better. But when it comes to playmakers, I think they need that dynamic slot playmaker that you can put, that can win on option routes, that can get you that 3rd and 5, that has enough wiggle to make plays and squirt out and hit home runs. Because you can't have Jordan Love having to methodically go down the field for 5 or 6 times a game to be able to try and score touchdowns. You have guys that can hit home runs. They need a home run hitter. Now, who that is, when you look at slot guys in this draft, there's not a ton that I'm super excited about, but I'm going to give you one. Okay, I'm going to give you one. I think he's going to be a really good player. And he's small, but he's quicker than a hiccup. If you could find a way to get Tank Dell, speaking of Houston, watched him down in the Senior Bowl. Yeah. God, he is electric. You put him in the slot. You don't let him get pressed. He's elusive enough not to get squared up. They need some dynamic playmaker that isn't just a vertical jump ball guy.
What round is he projected right now? Do you know?
I need to look. His size is going to keep some people away from him, but I just...
I don't think he's projected in the first.
I want to say he's in the top 3 rounds, I believe. But, I mean, he's little now. He's little. I saw him in person. He's little.
All right, let's go to Owen Donahue with a $5 donation. Appreciate it, Owen. He says, what do you guys think of these moves? All right. Trey Lance to the Ravens. Lamar Jackson to the Titans. Washington moving up to select Anthony Richardson.
I could see it. I could see it in a heartbeat. I think that'd be great for the Titans. I would love for that to happen, being up here in Nashville. And you talk about then mixing Derrick Henry with Lamar Jackson if the Titans don't move from Henry. That's formidable, even though Lamar's been beat up. And I don't know, how much true zone read, how much true RPO with the ability to keep that you're going to want to do with Lamar right now. But yeah, I could see it. I think the Commanders are so interesting in this draft. Because if you look at the situations they've made from a quarterback standpoint, Heineke's not there anymore. I think they're going to give Sam Howell a shot, but I don't think Sam Howell's the answer long term. Would a Lamar or an Anthony Richardson, or hell, I wouldn't be shocked if the Commanders somehow got Will Levis, to be honest with you.
I mean, they're in the same range of moving up. I mean, the Commanders could move up in this draft. They have enough to give up to get up there. I don't see Lamar going to the Titans. To be honest, I don't see that happening.
I mean, a boy can dream.
For sure, but I just feel like that offense doesn't fit Lamar Jackson. Like they're a downhill. If anything, like you need to get Lamar. I want him to shotgun. I want RPOs. Like even if you're injury prone, I know that, but dog, you still have to play to your strengths.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, but I can see that. I don't believe in Trey Lance. I can tell you that right now.
Either.
If I'm the Ravens, hell no. I don't believe in Jordan Love either.
I'm with you. I've agreed. We've said that.
I mean, you can go get a guy. You can go get a guy out wide and get a tight end, whatever you want. But I know in probably 2 years, you're going to be looking for another quarterback. Mm-hmm. So I do not believe in Jordan Love. Let's go to John Williams with a $5 donation. Appreciate it, John. Just forgot to add my message. That's okay. While helping my kids. So there's a $5 because the Yankees needed that many to win last night.
Yeah, I love that, John. That is a fantastic comment, and I would like to say, Joe Ryan, got him on my fantasy team. Appreciate another just quality start, going 7, giving up 2, and I'm in a fantasy baseball league with a friend of mine that works up here. First week wasn't great for me. It's a new league. These guys have all been together on the new kid on the block. Wasn't good. Second week, bounced back, had a good performance. And this week, there was some trash talk before me and my buddy who works up here played. And right now, let's just say it's an ass beating of a lifetime. But there's a long way to go.
Is it?
Against Hefe?
Against Hefe?
We're not saying names because names, that throws the karma in there. That does the jinx in there. It's baseball. It's Wednesday. I got through Sunday. We just need to keep waking up what, Cone? O&O mentality.
Talking about karma. Talking about that. Remember when I came on here and I said, you know what? Cone's high water pants. He was right about the Rays. I was wrong about the Braves. All of a sudden, the Astros beat the Rays to end that home winning streak.
And the Braves have won 2 in a row.
Charlie Morton looked good last night.
He did.
Albie solo shot
2.
last night? Oh, yeah, 2?
Got him on my fantasy team.
Wait,
He hit 2
did he hit
homers
one?
last
What
night.
was the second one? What inning
I
was
think it
it?
was later. I think it was
All right, sweet. No one cares. Let's go to the
I
DGD
care.
podcast, $5 donation. Because I just need to hear this. All right. Will Stetson Bennett get drafted
no.
Yes.
into the Army?
Yes. Into the Army?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I do not think Stetson will be drafted.
Yeah.
I think he'll be picked up.
He'll get drafted.
Last pick.
But look, if you're Stetson, you've seen this movie before, right? You go to Georgia, walk on.
Whole life.
You don't need to get a scholarship. Hey, go to Jones County Community College, then come back and walk on again, and then get a scholarship. Maybe this is his play. You go get picked up. Hey man, Stetson Bennett, great college career, never gonna do in the NFL. He's a free agent, nobody cares. Practice squad, man, this guy's making plays. God, who's this little guy? Really understands offense. Hey, let's throw him in there in a preseason game. Nobody really cares. Wow, he balled in the preseason game. Maybe we get him a little bit of time.
Look,
wow, a couple fourth quarter comebacks, 2 out of 3 games. Then all of a sudden, Stetson Bennett started in the NFL. Maybe.
Look.
No shot.
Brock Purdy cleared the way for guys like Stetson Bennett. Cleared the way. I mean, what's the difference between him and Brock?
I think Brock's way more.
Brock was a 4-year starter, but Stetson 2-time national champ. So
Yeah, I mean,
You give Brock Purdy, don't forget, Brock Purdy had Bama offers coming out of high school. He went to Iowa State over Bama, legitimate Bama
did.
offer. You give Brock Purdy the weapons that Georgia had. He was out there playing at Iowa State, which, no offense, but they don't exactly have the Avengers out there running around on the outside. There's no Brock Bowers on Iowa State or those things up front. And I know it's Iowa, believe me, I've been there, okay? But they didn't have what Georgia has.
all right, let's go to Tucker with a $2 donation. Appreciate it, Tucker. He says Hawks in 7.
Really?
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
7.
Yeah,
I'm all for chaos.
you know,
God, I got a good Heath Ledger Joker impression.
that was kind of mediocre.
No, that was actually really good.
Let's go to
Told me.
Ethan Andrew with a $5 donation. Appreciate it, Ethan. He's hopping on a plane from Seattle to KC today for the draft.
Ooh.
Which hidden gem do my Chiefs pick up, a.k.a. who is this year's Isaiah Pacheco?
They're going to get, that was such a great pickup. I
Pacheco.
love watching Pacheco
He runs
run.
so
He
well.
Rutgers,
runs
baby.
like he's pissed, and that's how you need to run.
And Clyde Edwards-Helaire was already playing well for you.
Yeah.
Because I had him on my fantasy team. He scored a touchdown in
Did you?
most of the first
Pacheco's
games. I don't wanna
such a
hear
better
from you over
piece.
there.
Did you have him on your
But
fantasy
Pacheco,
team?
the first couple times Pacheco got in there, I
You can
immediately
tell.
went to the
Well,
waiver
people don't
wire. I'm like,
realize-
I got to get rid of
Well,
Clyde
you watch
Edwards-Helaire.
Pacheco run, and he's just running through guys. You don't realize he runs 4.3.
Oh, yeah.
Like when he opens it up, I'm like, damn, I forgot who they were playing last year.
So
he hit the sideline one time. I was like, good
You can
God.
tell Isaiah's running for more than himself.
That's exactly right. He's running
He's
for
running
the
for a
bag.
family, dog.
Yeah, he's running for the bag.
that's a
and I
different
respect
level.
it.
I mean-
when it comes to who the Chiefs going to get, I don't ever worry about the Chiefs when it comes to the draft. I mean, what pieces do you need? Obviously,
Defense. Go on
defense
defense.
and skill, right? Defense and skill. I mean, you were at the
Maybe
bottom
not.
of the barrel.
Man, I don't even think. I think
and
they can go get a bunch of high school.
Just don't
receivers
draft anyone.
and win the Super Bowl.
Just get all defense. No, what they did more with less. I mean, than anybody last year. You won the Super Bowl with probably the worst roster you're going to have. But just because that was scenario 1 year, you don't want to be in that situation.
No.
You want to have the best personnel because you already got the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. I'm going to be asking Patrick, but the best one I've ever seen, if we're going to be honest. But I want to surround him with as much talent as possible because we've also seen the Chiefs when he does have that talent around him, when you did have Tyreek Hill. So, and we obviously know Travis Kelce, but put some good pieces around him. That defense gets right. Remember, the Chiefs always take care of what they need to take care of. What was the knock on the Chiefs past couple of years? Offensive line, right? Offensive line wasn't good enough. Offensive line wasn't good enough. Thought they did a good job last year of fixing that problem.
Last pick in the first round. All right. You can never go wrong with taking a DN from Clemson. Give me Miles Murphy.
Nah, I'm with you.
I agree. All right, that's going to be sweet. Safe flight, buddy. Owen Donahue with the $5 donation. Appreciate it, Owen. Says, you guys never read my first dono on here. That's cap. I read it. How do you feel now? What do you think of Kyler Murray to the Bucks and the Cardinals select Stroud at 3?
Kyler Murray to the Bucks? I don't think
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think the
That's
Bucks
not gonna
want anything
happen.
to do with that. I think it's either going to work out for Kyler Murray at the Cardinals. Or he's going to end up playing baseball. That's what I think. Hell, he may go from the Cardinals to the Cardinals. Who knows? But what was the second part?
It was. You think, okay, you guys, what do you think of Kyler Murray to the Bucks and the Cardinals select Stroud at 3?
I just don't think you can move Kyler. I mean, if in a perfect world, great, but I don't think the Bucks are going to take him. And I think the Bucs are smart not to take him. I think if Arizona's smart, which who knows, I think they trade that pick. That's what I think. I'm just, right now, I don't know why, but I just have a feeling that Will Anderson ends up with the Seahawks.
You think so?
Jr. It just feels right to me.
Well, it's going to come down if the Cardinals trade 3.
That's
right. And the Cardinals could trade 3 with the Seahawks.
Well, the Cardinals, I think if they're going to trade 3, they're going to trade it to somebody who wants a quarterback.
I think you're right, which would mean, and the Colts at 4 are going to take a quarterback, which would mean the first 4 picks are quarterbacks this year, which I just don't see happening. But maybe they think this is that class.
Yeah. Let's go to Jack Hogan with the $5 donation. Appreciate it, Jack. If you were the MLB commissioner, how would you fix the pitch clock to stop crap endings to games? Who did Blaine lose a bet to have that haircut?
Coming after.
Can I live my life, Jack?
Living my best
Which
life.
Jack is that?
Good God. Jack Hogan.
Look, the Jacks bring the noise. I know the phone lines are down today.
Your hair looks stupid.
For scientific reasons, I blame AI. But
don't bring Allen Iverson in this.
Look, he's got a problem.
Practice, dog.
All right? He's got a problem.
Practice.
See, now I totally forgot the question.
If you were the MLB commissioner.
Oh, yeah. Here's how you fix the pitch clock. And I've said this, and I've said this, and I've said this. You don't need to have 3 different scenarios of the clock going on. Batter clock, pitcher clock, any type of clock. You need to have one clock.
Yes.
And here's what it is. When it's down to 8 seconds, the pitcher can throw the ball. All right? Because the umpire controls, right? Time in, time out, whatever. Dig your back foot in. Once 8 seconds hits, I don't care if the batter wants time, if he broke his leg, or there's an invasion from the North Koreans. That pitcher can throw the ball at 8 seconds, problem solved. You want to talk about getting somebody in the box to get ready? Don't threaten them by calling a strike when the ball's not coming. Hey, guess what? 102 could be coming at any point in time. But guess what? No pitcher's going to throw it if a guy's hanging out over home plate, looking at the umpire and hit him right in the back and hurt him. No pitcher's going to do that. But also, no hitter's going to go up there and put his life on the line by not paying attention when he knows the ball can come. Because everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. That's Mike Tyson.
I agree with you, and I was thinking about this last night. What if you just take it away in the 9th inning? I mean, if you've used it for 8 innings, it's already going to have done its job. It's going to have sped the game up, right?
I'm fine with that.
Just take it away in the 9th completely. That way, it's not going to cost either team in a pivotal moment. You can go back and complain and say, well, but it was that bottom of the 7th where, we got a strike or a violation that really cost us. But it's always the end of a game, right, that people remember the most when there's controversy. Take it away in the 9th. Take it away.
Take it away.
I mean, I think it's...
If you're going to take away the 9th, just take it away.
I want that.
Yeah,
please.
That's just such a, we're not just going for the 9th and just get it away. All right.
I like my idea.
I mean, this 30 minutes, congrats. An extra 30 minutes, 20 minutes off a game. If you're willing to watch, no one's like, the only reason I'm watching baseball right now is because of that extra 20 minutes I don't have to watch.
Yeah, that's
the only reason I'm watching
minutes.
it, guys.
That's 26
You want to fix it? Let them fight each other.
For the rest of your life.
Just let them fight. That's the only way it's going to get fixed. I'm trying to help. All right, let's go to Arik Kasky, $5 donation.
Thanks, Arik.
Says, what should my beloved Bengals do at 28? I'm torn on what they should do. There's a run on the O-line and tight end in the first. I think they should trade back. Our 28th pick for the Bengals. We know it's been going on with the running back situation. I don't know what backs exactly will be there. There'll be some O-line options.
Y'all need to protect Joe Burrow.
Yeah, you need to get offensive line.
One thing you need to get that offensive line
that's
right.
That's what you need. Because in turn, that helps the run game as well. The Bengals feel great about the skill position. Feel great about it, right?
Maybe best in the league.
With Jamar and T and Hayden Hurst.
Tyler Boyd.
You've got the guys. You've seen this offense to be able to do it. Hell, your defense does a fantastic job when they have to stop people as well. I mean, look at the way it's gone down. You've been to a Super Bowl and you've been to the championship game right before in the conference. So protecting Joe Burrow, you protect your greatest asset, right? Your greatest asset is Joe Burrow. You want to know who to draft? Here's a question to ask yourself as a fan. Who should we draft? What do people make fun of us the most about?
Here you go.
That'll answer your question. And for the Bengals, it's the offensive line.
And the Bengals are right there on the cusp of greatness.
They are.
You only have a few years with Joe Burrow and those offensive pieces. You're not going to be able to keep everyone.
I agree, but now, we're talking about the Bengals in a totally different air.
Yes. Shore up the O-line, get some great defensive pieces. Maybe you do take a running back somewhere, and when you do, don't miss, just like the Chiefs when we were talking about Isaiah Pacheco. Mm-hmm. And I think the Bengals could, they're Super Bowl.
No, I'm all in on the Bengals.
If you're not going to go O-line, right, you got to think, what was a huge part of, your team? That's DJ Reader. I mean, in the middle on defense, and he's on an expiring deal. So I mean,
you got it.
So what I do? I mean, Brian Breesy from Clemson. I know I'm throwing a lot of Clemson D linemen out there today, but at the 20.
Well, that's not a bad business.
What offense? I mean, if there's an offensive lineman you're excited about, I know you're not going to get the best of the litter. Obviously, picking a 28, you're not. If Brian Breesy is still there, I think Brian Breesy can be an elite player in the NFL. Just his speed and just an absolute cave troll, like humongous, freaky. Been through a lot. I don't think they'd be bad with that.
I do want to remind people, hey, we are live streaming the draft. We're going to have some great games while we're playing. We're going to be taking your calls, hopefully, if the phone lines work. And we're going to be taking your comments as well. That starts at 7:45 Eastern tomorrow. That's 6:45 p.m. Central. So come check out, hang out with us. We're going to be taking bets. It's going to be a great time. If you've ever joined us on the live stream, I think we have the best live streams out of anybody in the world.
It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. Tell me quickly about this Millennial Night.
Yeah. So I believe, I want to say, this was 2018, but I had never heard about this.
Okay.
And it's the Montgomery Biscuits, baby.
The Montgomery Biscuits.
Yep, that's it. The 334.
That's
and
the name I can get behind.
And it pissed off millennials so much. It's a minor league baseball team. They had Millennial Night. And here was the advertisement. Avocado burgers, selfie station, a napping area, and participation ribbons. If I know all millennials aren't like this, but I think we can all laugh that this is hilarious. It caused a lot of backlash, but grow up, Peter Pan, Count Chocula. This is hilarious. I think we need to embrace the funny more as opposed to having, hey, guess what? I'm in super love with my mailbox night. Let's all, be friends together or whatever it is.
I'm a millennial. I think this is
we're all millennials
and sad. Where are you on the
94?
94. Okay, there we go. So we're all millennials. I think this is hilarious and sad, but the people getting outraged by it, you just played into this.
But see, here's what I'm going to say. Like, people that get outraged by it, this doesn't mean that every millennial is like that. And guess what? I know it's not great for society, but from a selfish perspective, what did Jay-Z say?
What did he say?
Less is more, man. There's plenty of us.
If
y'all all want to be lazy, good. I'm going to be out hustling, grinding while y'all are complaining, talking about being oppressed and being victims. I'm going to be out getting my bag. Because one of my favorite coaches I ever coached with, a guy named Dave Tollefson, won 2 Super Bowl rings with the Giants, played with Strahan at defensive end, used to tell the D-line before every game, there's a bag of money on the ground. The question isn't if it's there, it's which one of y'all's ass going to bid down and pick it up.
Go get that thing. I wonder if someone in the Booster Club was there that night at the Montgomery Biscuits. I wonder if they saved their participation ribbon.
Maybe, but less is more. There's plenty of us.
Look, napping area doesn't sound terrible.
You kidding me?
I mean, it doesn't.
I'm not going to
avocado burgers.
Nap.
Look, I don't claim to be a millennial. Like, I don't. I'm not a millennial.
You just said you were a millennial.
Like 2 seconds ago, you
2 seconds ago, you.
No, I'm saying they're saying I'm a millennial. I'm not saying I'm a millennial. That's the difference.
So they're.
No, you just said.
No, I didn't.
You did just say you're a millennial because you're 94.
Yeah, I'm 94, so that would put me in the millennial, but I don't claim myself as a millennial.
What do you claim yourself
You don't
as?
identify
as a dragon.
So
you're a dragon.
So you're like transgenerational.
No, I'm not.
Transgenerational.
It's always trans stuff with you.
You okay? You're the one who said it, not me.
What are you upset about?
What else
trans is a prefix, dog.
What else would you call
It's a prefix.
My pronouns are flaming/dragon.
Yeah.
All right.
Are they?
We'll respect those.
What was the nickname the other day in All Access?
I don't know.
Blaney Mulvaney.
And they're off.
All right, let's get to Ben. Hashtag Ask Crain. Come to what's up, Ben. The Colts have the choice between C.J. Stroud and Will Levis. Will they do good and choose Levis, or will their track of choosing QBs prevail?
Well, I think the real question you have to ask yourself is, are you a masochist or not? Because it's C.J. Stroud by a mile. But we all know deep down, and you as a Colts fan, I know you're maybe looking in the mirror right now, and you're right. We know the Colts are going to take Will Levis because they're going to trade with the Texans at 2 and then give the Texans a 3rd-round pick. Then the Texans are going to trade the 4th pick to the Ravens to get Lamar Jackson. They're going to give him that 4th pick and then a 1st-round pick in 2024, and that's what it's going to be.
I know in the first segment I said there's no way C.J. Stroud falls to 7 with the Raiders sitting there, but let's just play this out quickly, okay? Let's say the Panthers do take Bryce Young. The Texans either take the Texans either trade that pick away like you were saying, or they take Anthony Richardson. And then the Cardinals stay where they are at 3 and take defense. And then the Colts go Will Levis, which means you have to think the Seahawks and the Lions are going to go defense or offensive tackle, which means the Raiders, who just traded for Jimmy Garoppolo, are sitting there at 7 without having to trade up with C.J. Stroud still on the board. You have to take him.
But, I mean, didn't you bring Jimmy G in to be the guy?
Okay, well, let's say they pass on him because you brought Jimmy G in. Falcons sitting there at 8.
See, now, I tell you what I think
some point, someone's going to have to draft.
I tell you what I think would happen. If the Falcons, like if you're the Raiders and you get to 7 and CJ's still there and you know the Falcons want him, because I think the Falcons would take him if he's there at 8. Do you then entice the Falcons to trade it down to go from 8 to 7 so you can steal a pick from them knowing they're going to take Stroud and your guy's still there?
Well, if the Raiders called the Falcons to inquire about that, wouldn't that tell the Falcons they don't want to take him? So there's no risk for us?
I think they would say we're thinking about taking him, but, you know, is it something where you guys would want to have him and you know, we're willing to listen? I don't think anything's
Or you can say we already have Tennessee on the other line who wants to take him.
You've seen draft day. Hey, I'm being held at gunpoint. I got to make this trade or the Iranians are going to get me. That's how I play it.
The Iranians are after you?
Yeah. But guys, they're everywhere right now.
I was going to Coach Rue. It says, I do love that Blaine uses the golden tumbler on set. A reminder of a great victory.
Who said that?
Can I finish?
One dub.
Finish?
Who said that?
See, I was going to finish. It's a good thing about you, but I'm not going to say it.
No, say it. Finish.
No, I'm not going to say it. You won't let me finish. See? Yeah. Hope you feel dumb. Let's go to...
no, you have to finish
No, I don't. No, I don't. No,
All
I
right,
do not.
I'm in here.
Yeah, good luck finding
Get
it.
in there, David.
All right, let's go to AJ Adams, 22. Speaking of the kiss of death in the postseason, I have a very, very bad feeling that the Braves will be one of the 2 best regular season teams, but will lose in the first round of the playoffs.
Hey, well, you know what? You know what the best part about that is? I remember the 90s, early 2000s. That's what we do, baby. We win the NL East. Hell, Bobby Cox won the NL East like 13 years in a row.
He did.
Won 1 World Series. So that's nothing new for me. But guess what? We got ours. I saw it. All right? I was there. I saw us beat the Astros. Okay? I'm good with that. I want the Braves to win another one. That's great. But guess what? I don't have to reach anymore. I know what that's like. Oh, wow. Braves World Series in this cup. Hold on, let me drink it. I remember that taste because I've been here before. I've sippeth.
Let's go to Jiffer with a $2 donation. Appreciate it, Jiffer. Says MLB changed their walkout music to AOL dial-up.
Well done.
That'd be wild.
I couldn't find the comment.
Yeah.
Well done.
I couldn't
You
find
gonna
it.
apologize?
If I apologize,
I need you to apologize for multiple
Hey,
things.
If I apologize, will you read it?
Look, I'm going to get up to the board in a second.
I would like to say.
I want you to apologize this and the nickname you threw at me.
I would like to apologize for everything I've done to you today. It's unfair.
Okay,
it's
good.
uncalled for, and it won't ever happen again.
All right, everybody heard that, right?
Have you guys ever met anybody who got their steak well done?
Yes.
No
One of my
way.
former neighbors.
No way.
It's
One of my former neighbors in Woodfield. He would get, always filet mignon, and it would be a well
You're
done.
going to well done a filet mignon? Prison.
And there were times, man, there'd be
What made
times I'd
you
be over
think
there
of
for a
that?
barbecue. There'd be times
I don't
I'm
know.
like, I wanted to grab the tongs and just take the steak off the grill because I already knew that it hit
That's
rare,
abuse.
medium rare, medium. I'm like, he's going to let it keep going.
Yeah.
But that's another man's
I just got
grill.
steak on the mind because that Good Ranch.
It's another
sauce.
man's grill, man.
Like, I had another bone-in ribeye last night. Like, it's real, like, Oregon Trail, like, fantastic. Like, but you ate the bone-in ribeye last night.
We had the bone-in ribeye again last night, and then Darby Lou and Mr. Richard had the New York strip.
The New York strip's this is the best steak I've had.
All right, to finish that comment for you, it says, I do love Blaine using golden tumbler, a reminder of a great victory, but when Coney wins next year, the revenge will be strong.
Wow, there we go.
Well,
I
that's not what's going to
apologize.
happen. We all know who's winning next year.
Yeah, me.
No, I am.
I won without Cooper Kupp, guys.
I am. Everybody had people there. I played without Derrick Henry for like 4 weeks.
It takes all I can muster just not to say bad things about DeMar Hamlin, but I won't.
Please do. Let it out, Dave. We're here. You got a platform.
Hey, let it
out,
Gonna
dude.
get me.
Let
I'm
the
glad
hate
he's back.
shower
Glad he's
over.
safe.
Yeah.
Glad he's back.
All right. Oh, good. My left leg's asleep. That's always fun.
Everybody watch Jake hobble up here.
Yeah.
I believe you can make it.
Yay.
All right, real quick, Colby, $5 donation. Appreciate it, Colbs. Says, who would your ideal running back be on 4th and goal in the Super Bowl, and why isn't it Stacey Abrams? Mine'd be Lizzo.
I don't know. I feel like you give Lizzo about her refrigerator Perry. I think they may be the same guy. I do want to give a shout out to Laura B, who sent us some fantastic beef jerky and 3 of the coolest Texas Tech hats.
Tell me one.
There's one there. You want the Wrecking Service one? You got Joey McGuire's Wrecking Service. That's the coach. And the Guns Up sign from Texas Tech. So Laura B, thank you so much.
Put that on.
You the best. We appreciate the beef jerky too, which is just getting ran through like a finish line as we speak. But I want to talk about our bets that are brought to you by DraftKings.
DraftKings.
All right, download the app now and sign up with code BOOSTER, BOOSTER. It'll instantly make you better looking, and new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly, win or lose, which is a win-win. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code BOOSTER. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Here's what I got tonight. After last night, the Canes, I don't understand. I don't understand how you guys blew that. Makes me want to puke and other stuff.
What other stuff?
Can't talk about that. Makes me want to think of number 3. Anyways,
No.
give me
A number 3? It's illegal in 15 states.
15.
16 now.
Oh, wow.
Delaware.
All right.
Can't trust them. Here's what we got tonight. Who knows? So I'm just putting it all on John Morant in the first game. John Morant, 50-plus total. Points plus assists plus rebounds. Just give me a 45-piece with 7 assists. That's all I ask. Not a lot. Jimmy Butler scored 56. All right, don't complain. That's at plus 300. And then, taking both the favorites, so I know this has no chance to hit, the Bruins and the Avs money line at plus 119. Boy, Sergio's going to win the month.
He needs it.
Oh, man. I was 0-2 back-to-back nights. It's unacceptable, and it turns around tonight.
Rumor has it there's some talk behind the scenes that the AD, a.k.a. Darby Lou's, got to come in there and have a talk to you.
Yeah. It already happened. My job. But tonight, we turn it around. Bucks money line.
Yes.
With the over 209.5 and Giannis over 35 points plus rebounds. All right, that's minus 125. And then the Grizzly money line, all right, even though I don't believe, Grizzly money line plus Ja over 24.5 points plus 115.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I know we spoke of signs earlier.
What'd you see?
Reading the signs. My signs were about my bets. Someone on Twitter said my bets suck. They DM me, so this is going to be a rough month for me, guys. That was my sign. I don't feel great about it.
Okay.
Somebody DM'd you?
So what are you going
Like,
to do?
hey, you suck at betting.
Wait, did you hit any of your first pitches yesterday?
Huh?
Did you hit any first pitches
What do you
yesterday?
think, David? You think I'd be sitting here like this if I had 2 plus 2,700 odds bet?
He's transgenerational.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
You said yeah.
I didn't exactly hear what he said. They can't say trans with a hockey stick in his hand. Doesn't make sense.
Well,
All right, give me. Excuse
the
me.
Preds game?
Excuse me. No, I didn't. They're not playing because they're garbage. Heat plus 11.5. Minus 110. Help us God. All right, Golden State money line on the road minus 122. Road, I don't know. We'll see. But I need these 2 to hit. I need these 2. I need to go 6-0 these next 3 days because this weekend it's
going down. This is when you it's moving
violent.
weekend.
It's every first pitch
It's
of every
moving
game
weekend.
of MLB.
Well, you still, Blaine.
Exactly.
Like,
tell me what I already know.
You need 10 more bets, dog. I don't know another way to explain this to you.
It's all going to happen in one day.
In one day.
Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to have 16 bets out there.
Go.
All of them. All of them.
First
It's either going
pitch?
to be first pitch or first basket in the NBA.
It needs to be first pitch.
You don't have to take them. I won a couple months ago just going 1-0. Remember? I won that month.
Did
I mean,
you?
Jake gave a speech, but
Oh.
you know who won the month.
No,
See,
well,
collusion.
Yeah, no.
The king of collusion
You cheated.
is sitting right
You
there.
cheated.
The rules
Ace
give you a
Cone.
ladle.
He's going to ride
Stir
with
the
me in the
pot.
fear. Bruins, Avs, money line at plus 119. Then he's going to go Knicks.
Nicky.
On the road at the Cavs, plus 170. I wonder what the Hawks were going at last night, money line. That's a huge win. All right. What else we
All
got?
right, Stephen Moore,
Okay.
a.k.a. whatever he says is right.
Yes, he's right.
For what he did for us.
Donated $500.
Because my wife is weird about meat. She makes up an order called Medium Plus, which is a low-end well done.
Oh, I thought that was a streaming service.
Medium plus. Okay.
I do that actually reminds me, Stephen, I would like to announce that Reed has decommitted after 13 years from being pescatarian,
What?
thanks to Good Ranchers. Yep.
Are you kidding me?
She eats some of my steak every time I do it. Last night, she took a couple bites, looked at me and said, I'm ready.
13 years.
13 years
pescatarian.
off a dare.
Wow.
Off a dare. You want to know how much my soon-to-be wife holds grudges? A girl bet her or dared her that she wouldn't stop eating meat and only eat fish and vegetables and stuff. And she did it for 13 years.
Wow.
It's crazy. Let's go to Conair. Ron said it would be embarrassing for Crain & Co. to lose the golden tumbler to Walsh or Knowles.
Yeah.
We didn't, though.
Look, be embarrassing.
Look. Had to come save the day.
It's right there.
All right.
Well, I mean, we had both y'all in the
Come
finals.
save the day. All right.
Yeah, what are you talking
I'm it's back to back. I'm Georgia right now, dog. I'm a Drake song.
You won one.
It's about to be back to back.
Well, okay, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll all see.
I guess we will.
All right.
Let's go to Mo Bamba. I'm just kidding. Mo Bama. Don't kill me. She says, my mom eats her steak well done. It's her biggest flaw.
I need her to be better. All right, what's the poll?
Don Higgins. Hold on, $5 donation. Can I finish this, please?
Yeah, I'm sorry. They're just telling me to.
Well, tell them to get the phones to work if they tell us to wrap. How about
Okay.
that? All right. Blaine and David's back and forth banner makes my mornings. Thank you, Don. You make my mornings, Don.
Don, you make my mornings.
Poll.
Love you, Don.
What do we like more? Pongo? Pickle feet.
Pongo.
Pongo's got to win this one.
Pongo.
Because it's the first one, right? Right?
No, maybe it's just better.
Like they say, you always love your first kid the most. That was a joke, but no, seriously.
Whoa.
Is that because you're the first kid?
Exactly.
Selfish.
But we all know that's not true.
Odds. Give me odds. Give me numbers.
85%.
Yeah, Pongo, 77%.
All right. Pickle feet. 32%.
Woo, Daddy's
Pongo,
hot.
68%.
I got a lot.
Yeah, there we go.
Good show, fellas.
I like Pongo. Really.
Draft tomorrow.
Live stream.
Live stream.
7:45 Eastern, 6:45 Central. What's up?
Go free $2 donation. Create a company. How do I get that Tumblr, Blaine? Go on the website.
Yeah, go check out our merch too. Go buy merch. Go to Daily Wire. Go to Originals. It's under there, so we can put new stuff in there. Appreciate it, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. And like the chances of the Timberwolves ever beating the Nuggets again in an NBA playoff series, we're gone.
Happy birthday, Pavel.